what stocks managed to thrive in today's topsy-turvy session? How about Cramer fave Splunk, the cloud king that helps businesses use analytics software to get the most out of their machine data? This stock has had a dramatic turnaround like nearly all of the cloud plays. When the market started breaking down in October, Splunk was one of the worst performers as investors rushed to sell their high-flying momentum stocks with big gains. The damage was so extensive that we started hearing chatter about a possible slowdown in all things cloud-related, even as there was no data other than the plummeting stock prices to go along with that. Then Fed Chief Jerome Powell reversed some of his most hawkish statements about the need to aggressively raise interest rates not long after the cloud kings, including Splunk, reported some truly spectacular earnings and their stocks caught fire. Splunk in particular posted amazing numbers. It was just a week and a half ago, 40% revenue growth, 40, and nearly 50% subscription revenue growth. Stock surged from 101 to 111. Now it's pulled back to 108 as of today. I think you could have a lot more upside, but don't take it from me. Let's check in with Doug Merritt, the president and CEO of Splunk, who also wears proudly, as we do, our Splunk Big Data Booyah shirts. Mr. Merritt, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Very, very happy to be here.
Oh, Doug, I got to tell you, so proud of you. I mean, this was a major acceleration, 40%. I need you to tell people, you're not a $500 million company. You're not a $800 million. You are a big company. That kind of growth I have not seen of any big company this quarter.
Yeah, we focus hard on customer and customer success, and we've talked about that every time I've been on the show. Big data is everywhere. People need to figure out how to take advantage of it so they can actually guide their company's decisions and keep themselves secure. And we were thrilled to see the overall revenue numbers. And while the 40% revenue growth was phenomenal, the almost 50% software revenue growth is something I'm equally excited about. That we've got a complex model with on-prem and cloud revenue, and this is our cut-through metrics so that people can really understand the health of the business. So it was a great quarter, but it's because of customers voting with their favoritism towards Splunk.
All right, well, there are two customers we have very close relationships with on the show that you actually pointed out, Starbucks and Carnival. Now, we think that both these companies are so technologically strong, it made me realize that Splunk may be behind some of their prowess.
We do everything we can behind the scenes. I look at us as the BASF of software. We try and make every company that uses us a little bit better in what they do. And we were honored to have Arnold Donald from Carnival, their CEO, that's just done a spectacular job at the helm there. Actually joined me on stage at our user conference in Orlando just a few months ago and talk about how they're using Splunk in every aspect of the business, including the customer experience on ship and off ship. To keep the data secure, to make sure that they're able to understand how to get most value from Carnival. So anything we can do to help any of our customers in their journey to become more data-driven and more outcome-driven is something that we're proud of every single day.
Well, Doug, I think you had just a little bit more on that. Your company is so helpful in predicting from data. When you're in Carnival, they got to know what people might want that moment. When you're Starbucks, they need to know whether their new drink is going to work. You somehow are able to allow them to ask questions to a database verbally and get answers.
Yeah, that's some of the exciting announcements we had at our user conference were on how to bring the power of Splunk to everybody within the organization, including this natural language interface to Splunk, so that you can now talk to Splunk through Alexa, Siri, or other natural language frameworks and have Splunk respond back to you. But we also introduced things that people wouldn't always expect with Splunk. We've got a whole next-gen mobile platform that has an augmented reality framework on top so that customers like University of Connecticut in their aquaponics lab where they grow fish can now use their mobile devices and walk through the lab to check things like UV light, pH, and balance to make sure that their businesses are being run well and effectively using Splunk.
By no means do I want to slight an incredibly important business, which is your security business, which, of course, is part and parcel with what we're talking about. But just describe to people how you've been able to really kind of you get people in one bit of your business, and then they want and really are drawn to your security formulas.
Yeah, what we see in every department, and security is at the forefront of everything right now because we're all going to the cloud. We're all going digital, and that means everything is now accessible through our IT infrastructure, and we've got to protect those assets. And what we've been able to do for our security users within organizations is the same thing we do for other departments. Give them a unified technical capability that starts with asking any question of the data with our investigative data lake, but then marrying that with effective monitoring, detection, and alerting so that you know what questions to ask when you want to do any type of root cause, and then also coupling the monitoring piece with predictive analytics. And I think the power of all three technologies coming together is really unique for our customers.
Can you tell us how industrial asset intelligence works?
Yeah, it's if you think about the security use case, we've got a security operations center. Manufacturing floors have got a manufacturing operations center. Really similar high-level constructs, but the questions manufacturing tends to ask are all around the health of their shop floors, including things like how do I get in front of any type of maintenance issues, given that age-old maxim that seconds or minutes down on a floor can be millions or tens of millions of dollars of revenue. So the Industrial Asset Intelligence app is another set of frameworks on top of the underlying Splunk Enterprise platform that helps manufacturers with all those tasks, including helping them get in front of any predictive maintenance issues they might be facing.
All right, one last question is kind of a variant of one that was asked in your most recent conference call. You're a $2 billion revenue company. Some people feel that how are you ever going to get to be like Salesforce to 20 or Workday? You go to 5, then 7. Do you need another act? And your answer is basically security and your analytics really could get you to where these other companies are. You don't need another act.
Well, the acts that we keep working on are how do you expand the breadth and depth of this data analytics platform to make it easier and easier to power more use cases. The use cases that we lead with, given that these are completely digital landscapes, tend to be much more security, application development, and IT operations driven. When I look at the data that those three entities need across even the top 50,000 organizations globally to do their job, that's a lot of market share for Splunk to go after. But the true power, as we've talked about before, Jim, is you get that data through Splunk to serve those use cases. That's a huge chunk of the data that you need to go power these other use cases, customer sentiment analysis or predictive maintenance on a manufacturing floor, or other more line of business-centric use cases.
Well, look, I want to congratulate you. Strongest quarter of any of the big cap ones, and strongest of the cloud kings. Thank you so much, Doug Merritt, President and CEO of Splunk. Great to see you, sir.
Thank you, Jim. Honor to be here.
Guys, what can I say? I got to give these guys, Splunk, a big data booyah. They deserve it. Plus 40%, almost 50% revenue growth for software. Wow. Doug Merritt doing a great job. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.